The March 9, 2022 meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is now called to order. If everyone would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You can be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is charged with conducting hearings to determine whether an alleged violation of the city code has occurred. Decisions made by this quasi-judicial board will be based on the evidence and facts presented this evening. Our meetings are conducted in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, and each case will begin with the city presenting its evidence of the alleged violation. The respondent will then present his or her case. Both parties will have an opportunity to cross-examine all witnesses. The board members may question any witness. Comments by both parties must be relevant to the case. Persons wishing to speak will be given an opportunity to do so by the chairman and must address the board from the podium after giving their name and address. Upon request, copies of materials submitted by staff are available for review. Board members are reminded to obtain permission to speak from the chair, and questions of the city should be directed to the attorney for the city. At this time, I'd like to ask all persons who expect to give testimony tonight to please stand and be sworn in by the city clerk.
Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony or evidence you're about to give or present is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. As is our normal operating procedure, we will be taking cases tonight out of order. Just for your benefit, gentlemen, the first one is the first case. It's 2827, and then we'll be doing 6307, and I'll let you know after that what the next cases are. Next is our ex parte communications. Now ask the members of the board if they've had any ex parte communications with anyone regarding any matters that are coming before the board this evening. If you've had verbal ex parte communications, please disclose the when, where, and with whom those communications occurred, as well as the sum and substance of those communications. If you received written ex parte communications, please disclose the form of the written communications, who sent you the communications, and the sum and substance of those communications. So we'll start with you, Brad.
I've had none.
I've had none?
Had none.
Thank you. Next is approval of the minutes. I assume everybody has received minutes of the February 9, 2022 meeting. If the minutes are acceptable, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Motion to approve.
A motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion passes. Okay, first case, 2827.
Case number 21-2827, City versus Robert Lawrence for the property located at 86N Oleander Drive. The case is before the board based on an alleged violation of Section 828A1 permits, application required. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and the notice of hearing were properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance Officer. On June 1st, 2021, I was contacted via email by Community Development requesting a notice of violation to be completed referencing the open stop work orders at the residence. At that time, I completed a notice of violation with a compliance date of June 23rd, 2021. Affidavit of service was obtained by hand on the homeowner, Robert Lawrence. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence showing the stop work order for no permit for a second floor deck replacement and siding in Central Square.
We'll accept that. Thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows a stop work order in Central Square. Mr. Chairman, on June the 14th, 2021, Mr. Lawrence contacted me and stated that the building department was requesting an architectural drawing to be submitted, and he requested additional time. This case was to be presented at the August 2021 MCEB, but was pulled from the agenda by Director Baroni. Mr. Lawrence was out of the country due to his wife taking a teaching position in the Netherlands when the big wave of the pandemic hit, and did not want to risk flying back to the States. Mr. Lawrence has remained in contact with Director Baroni and me pertaining to the violation and has kept us informed of his return date travel plans and his attendance this evening. Also, Building Inspector Cheryl Bennett is present tonight to answer any questions that the board may have. As of today's date, the site is not in compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
Yes, sir.
Has he applied for permits? Has anything been, any
The
progress at all?
respondent is here. No, sir, there hasn't been anything that has been, the permit has not been pulled. There's not anything done. Architectural drawings
No
have not been submitted. No, sir. But the respondent is here this evening and would like to.
Just one permit?
Excuse me?
Just a single permit? We don't have,
As far as I know, sir, it would just be one, but the building inspector is here as well to answer any questions.
Mr. Chair, real quick, we submitted something into evidence. I thought it was going to be up on the thing. I don't think it got shown, did it?
No,
Mr.
I didn't
Lawrence
see
should
it.
have the opportunity.
But
Mr. Lawrence, I think it's just the stop work order. Did you want to take a look at it?
Oh,
again?
no,
Okay. Very good.
thank you. You said the respondent's here. Did you want to
Yes, sir.
approach and say anything? Okay. Yeah, be sure to state your name and address for the record, please.
Robert Lawrence, 8610 Oleander Drive. I want to start by apologizing for making you all go through this. And I also want to thank everyone here who I've talked to on the phone who's been really wonderful, actually, most recently, Ernie, and particularly Christian, who in the last few days has been indulgent. So thank you all. Okay, so I have been out of the country, and the reason why there isn't a permit is because I thought I didn't have to have one. Basically, I've lived in the house for 20 years. The deck has been there for at least 30 years through 12 hurricanes and tropical storms. And the railing was rotting, so I needed to replace the railing for safety purposes. And my understanding is that if it's just a small piece that you're replacing, like a railing, then you don't need a permit. And then I thought about it, and I thought, okay, well, I'm going to be out of the country for the better part of a year, at least. I'll just fix the whole thing. So basically, I replaced the whole deck exactly as it was. I contacted a number of contractors, licensed contractors, and 2 of them actually came out. You probably know it's very hard to get a contractor these days. And I wasn't working at capacity at that time because I was recovering from open heart surgery. But I did get someone who I felt good about, and for $5,000, between $4,000 and $5,000, he said he would replace the deck. He never mentioned anything about a permit, and my understanding, I now know misunderstanding, was that if you were replacing like for like on an existing structure, that you didn't need a permit. And am I correct in saying that I was just wrong about that?
Well, we'll let the building inspector address that.
Okay, all right. So when I talked to Larry Bettine, the contractor, about the problem, he kind of shook his head. He thought that like for like didn't need a permit either. At least that's what he told me. I don't know the truth of the matter, but he seems like a straight shooter, and he's been in business for several decades here. He actually works at the university sometimes. So he said, well, okay, I'll talk to we'll just get a permit, and and then it'll be fine. And so he said he talked to his engineer, and his engineer said, well, yeah, it may be that it's been there for 30 or more years, but it's not up to current code. Okay, so the problem is not the deck. The deck is perfect, exactly as it was and exactly as it is, only new. The problem is the building underneath it is not up to the current code to support the deck. Okay, so the solution is to either tear the deck off and remove the sliding glass door that goes out to the deck and replace it with a window, in which case I've thrown $5,000 down the drain for the deck because that's just scrap wood now. And I'd have to spend another several $1,000s to make the sliding glass door into a window that has now, instead of a deck, a view of a tar roof. So it's kind of a hit in terms of the livability of the place. Or to keep...
Interrupt you. Look,
Yeah.
Is the new deck finished?
The new deck is finished, yeah.
Okay, so everything's done,
It's all done.
and you got red tag, and
While they were putting the last screw in, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
and that's because of the structure under, the substructure.
no, it was, I don't think it was known by the inspector that the substructure was not up to contemporary code for supporting the deck. They just saw that I was building something without a permit. I thought I was repairing something. I now know, I have been educated, that I was building something. I'm still not clear on the
Just so
distinction.
I'm clear,
Yeah.
did the building department tell you have to take the deck down?
No, they didn't. They told me, the only thing I have to do at this point is to pull a permit. The reason why I didn't pull a permit is because I found out from my contractor's engineer that in order to get a permit for that deck, I would have to build a new Florida room. So I would have to tear the deck down, throw it away, tear the building down, not the whole house, but the building, the Florida room that it sits on, tear out the slab, pour a new slab, build a new building, and put a deck on top.
Okay.
That's what the engineer said. So, or I'd have to forego the deck. I could just tear the deck off, replace the sliding glass door with a window, but then I don't have a deck, right? So my ideal solution, and I don't know if this is possible, I've talked to a number of people about this, and no one says yes and no one says no. I would like it to just be grandfathered in, that an inspection is done of the building to see that it's supportable. And if it's stood there for 30 years, through 12 hurricanes and 12 hurricanes and tropical storms, with no ill effect other than weathering, it seems to me that we have empirical knowledge that it is sound structure.
So, just so I understand, so what you're saying you did was take the old deck off and just replace it with new planks, essentially?
Right, yes.
And then replace the railing?
Right. So,
Are there any, hang on a second. Are there any stairs going up to the deck?
no, you walk out directly.
So it's
to
a
the
second-story
on the side.
deck,
Yeah.
and you access it through a sliding glass door in the second story? Okay. Right, go ahead.
Was the original deck permitted before?
Well, it's been there for 30 years. I don't know if it was permitted, but, because I didn't own the house when it was built. But as I said, we have empirical knowledge that
You inherited that deck?
I inherited that deck. I bought the house with the deck, and the deck was at least 10 years old when I bought it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bill?
Yeah, not that I want to get into the details of the repair work, but I am going to, so.
Okay, no, it's fine.
Do you have to remove the entire, the structure, the Florida room, that structure is not sound also, or you just
No,
need
no,
to,
that
just need to shore up the foundation?
Right, that structure is sound as a Florida room, but according to, and I don't know what the situation was when the house was built 40 years ago. It may have been, well, who knows? But that structure is sound, and that structure was built to support the deck. That's not a standard Florida room. So it has on the outside, on the north side, there's a gigantic beam. It's more than 12 inches, and it's, I think, 8 inches thick. And there's a beam that runs through the center of the room, parallel to that beam, and then, of course, it's tied into the house on the other side. So it's not.
Okay, but you think that you have to either tear the deck down or there's no alternative. So let's get the building inspector up here and
Okay.
see if she can lend some clarity to this.
Thank you. Should I sit down then?
Yes, please.
Hi, Cheryl Bennett, Building Inspector.
So, is he right? Does he have to? Is his only option to?
No, we can discuss several options. They all stem from an engineer has to sign off on it.
Okay.
An engineer can say it's sufficient the way it is to serve the purposes that he has it functioning as. He can say add support here. He can say take it off. Whatever has to be done has to be signed by an engineer, and a plan has to be presented to us to get the permit.
So he's got one engineer that says it just needs to come down. So maybe.
Now, I don't know that he said it needed to come down. His presentation from his contractor was to start over from scratch, but whether or not
there's other
that,
options.
yeah. Well, he sent me an email back in July, right after the fact, asking about putting some support beams under it. I have a photo of it, and I told him that those may be options, but an engineer has to make that decision.
Right.
That's where we are. We can't accept the liability of someone being up on the roof, bouncing around, dancing, playing with balloon, whatever. You know, we have to have an engineer say that it functions as a deck.
Were you gonna submit that picture for evidence?
If that's what I need to do, that I sure can. Who do I?
Give it to Ernie.
And I had went there 2 days in a row prior to issuing the stop work order before the progress was to the extent that it was almost finished, asking them to please come in by the end of the day and get the permit. And each time they discussed that it was an insignificant amount of work, and then as it just grew and grew, I was doing inspections on the lot behind there on a swimming pool, and it just kept getting to be more and more and more.
Thank you. Any other questions? Go ahead.
Do we have any records of the house when it's built?
I had not investigated that.
So, thank you. I think we get it
Okay, thank you.
very much. Any other questions? Go ahead. Sir, would you mind coming back up? We have one question for you.
Yes,
Mr. Lawrence, so you checked with one engineer, is that correct?
yes. Well, I mean, that was, I went to my contractor, and that was my contractor's engineer, yeah. My understanding is that engineers are extremely expensive, so if I have to go asking for engineers, it's $1,000 every time they,
Everything's extremely expensive.
Correct.
yeah, so,
So, as I understand it, what you asking us to do is to grandfather the building, which, you know, we cannot do, we have to go by the code, and it seems that an engineer need to sign off on the structure. Is there any way you can check with a different engineer?
well, I can. It's difficult because I'm not in the country. I'm semi-retired from the university, and I have my contract for the summer involves me coming back a couple of times. This is my second time. I mean, I can try to do that.
Right, I'm just trying to see how we
Yeah,
can
yeah, sure.
resolve this situation.
Yeah.
Because if we find you in violation tonight, you have basically 30 days to correct the situation. But what I'm thinking is maybe give you another 30 days and see if you can check with a different engineer. Maybe someone will give you a different answer. And I don't know if that is a possibility for you. And,
Yeah.
you know, you haven't asked us for that. That's what I'm.
I mean, I'll tell you, nobody wants to solve this problem here more than I do. I know you're all diligent, but I want it solved for many, many reasons. So yeah, I can try to do that. So that would be like a continuance of 30 days, or?
Well, it's up to the board.
That's
I
up to the
see,
board.
yeah.
Let's have a seat. We'll
Okay,
continue,
yeah,
then-
sure.
Then we'll talk about options later. Okay, any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
Thank you, Bill.
Case number 21-2827. I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 8610 Oleander Drive. The violation is section 8-28, subsection A, subsection 1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Lori Smith and Robert Lawrence, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and a notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before. What month are we here? April 13th. I further move that said if the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors, the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. So you have been found in violation. You have until April 13th to get a permit that brings it out of violation, or a fine of $25 will start to occur. However, if you do your due diligence and you are in the process of getting drawings done or whatever, you can come back to us on April 13th and ask for an extension. Okay? Now, if you're out of the country, you can send someone in your stead to show up. But there's no sense in coming here unless there's some sort of progress.
Yeah, right.
Okay? And that progress can be, I've hired somebody, or it can be that the drawings are in, or it could be they're in the midst of doing the drawings, but, or they will give you a simply, I guess, a letter, Lori, a letter from the engineer that says it's all good. Will that suffice? Yeah, but if he gets an engineer that says it's structurally sound for what he's doing, that would suffice for you? Okay, so you wouldn't even need drawings, you just need an engineer to come out and inspect the current structure and make a determination of whether the structure as is will suffice for what you're doing.
Okay, and do I have to come?
You can work those details out with Lori and the building inspector.
All right.
Okay?
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
But that's generally what has to happen. Okay?
all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all. Thank you very much.
Come up to the podium and then state your name again.
Cheryl Bennett, Building Inspector. We would just also want the handrail to be sufficient for the second floor. It may be in question as to how that is built as well.
How it's fastened to the deck?
Yes.
Okay.
But that's something that the engineer would know about, yes? Okay.
Thank you. Next case,
Thank you very much.
216307.
Case 216307, City versus Alberto M. Barban for the property located at 5415 Rainbow Drive. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 828A1 permits application required. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated October 9, 2021, when I observed what appeared to be construction occurring at the residence. At this time, I notified community development. On November 12, 2021, I completed a notice of violation from the community development stop work order list for 4 open stop work orders at the residence with a compliance date of November 23, 2021. I posted the notice at the home as well as City Hall. Also mailed copies both certified and regular mail to the address of the registered owner. On January 24, 2022, I noted no change, so it was set for the March MCEB hearing. This time I'd like to submit a photo of the notice posted at the front door and copies of the 4 stop work orders at the residence.
Thank you. We'll accept those.
As of today's date, the property is still out of compliance. I'm seeking a ruling. Permits have not been obtained.
There's 4 of them necessary?
For interior rental, plumbing, electrical reno, and mechanical for reno.
Is the respondent here?
Respondent is here.
Before he steps up, is there any questions for the code officers? Thank you, sir. Did you want to say something? It's up to you. Come up to the podium and state your name, and then the floor is yours. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alberto. I'm the owner for the house,
And your address?
5415 Rainbow Drive.
Thank you.
I didn't know this will be like a court. I thought it would be like a normal. I'm sorry for dressing like this. Okay. I buy this house. I'm moving from Kentucky. I didn't know I would need a permit to take it out the drywall. It was old. I know the old drywall will be affect our breathing and all that. I want to replace that. I didn't know we need all the permits. Now I'm working on that with the architect. He will be sick. He was sick with the COVID, and he told me on 2 days he will finish all that. I tell him I need something to bring here and let them know what happened. I bring these papers. That this is the proof he's working on the plans.
Is that your only copy?
These I got on the email. I just printed.
But you can submit them as evidence?
Yes.
Okay, give them Mr.
I got my kids at the school, and I got no air conditioner on the house because we can do no work. I'm waiting for the architect. He finished the electrician, I don't know the name, before the house. And then with that paper, we can put the air conditioning unit.
So he says he's a couple days away from getting everything done, then you can submit him.
He said in 2 days he will give me everything to submit the permit after the fact, because inside is done. We just need the air conditioner. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's fine. Any questions for the respondent? You can have a seat, sir. Thank you. If there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I did have a question, possibly,
For the building inspector or for the code enforcement?
either one. Yeah, building inspector, I guess, would be the. So, in a situation like this where they're, obviously the family's under discomfort because they don't have an air conditioner, is there any way to waive at least, I don't know, are all 4 permits associated with the air conditioning, or is there?
Well, I was in the neighborhood on another inspection, and I spoke with the homeowner and offered to come and assess the scenario some months ago and try to be able to move forward, and he didn't want me to see the space. I know they do have 2 new split air conditioning units that they're running in a different part of the house. They stay there. To put in an air conditioner where you have no drywall or electrical or plumbing seems not functional, it's not energy efficient.
So they have some, you're saying they have some temporary units perhaps that they're,
I do believe they have some split units that they installed.
okay. Thanks.
Any other questions?
I have one question. Is the work is not complete? Nothing is completed.
I don't.
For our code enforcement, did they inspect the house or?
No, he wouldn't allow me to see it.
Oh,
We don't know what the status of the work inside.
okay. For you, I have a question.
Hold your question till he approaches the podium, and then
How far have you gone in the renovation of the house?
This is my first house.
No, I know, it's like, did you complete it? Are you halfway done, or?
Yeah, we put the drywall on the original walls, and we put one split. That's what she's talking about on the bottom, but we don't live in the bottom, and that's what we got right now. We're just waiting for the architect give me the electric counting or something to find another contract guy to put the unit.
So you think 1 month will give you that time to?
I'm waiting just for him to submit the application or the after the fact paper. He told me, and like I say, I don't know nothing about this. This is my first house. It's my only house for my family.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
In case number 216307, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 5415 Rainbow Drive, applicable code section number section 8 subsection 28A1. The motion is based on a sworn testimony this board has received from the code board officer, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and notice of the violation, all of which are received and entered as part of the record for this hearing. I further move that this violation be corrected on or before April 13, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for the compliance. Upon the consideration of the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any action taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violation committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. So you have until April 13th to get the permit. If there's extenuating circumstances that prevent you from doing that, you need to come back on the 13th to the same place and let us know what those circumstances are. Okay, hope that too. Good luck. Thank you. Next case. 6311, right?
Case number 216311, City versus ARVN 5 LLC for the property located at 827 East River Drive. Case is before the board based on the alleged violation of Section 828A1, permits application required. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Jose Silva, Co-Compliance Officer. This case originated on November 12, 2021, from a community development stop work order list, requesting a notice of violation to be completed for the 5 open stop work orders at the residence. On this date, I completed notice of violation with a compliance date of November 23, 2021. Home was not occupied, so I posted notice at the home as well as City Hall, mailed copies both certified and regular mail to the registered owner. On January 24, 2022, noted no change, so it was set for the March MCEB hearing. On February 24th, 2022, a review of Naviline showed only one stop work order for electrical renovation still open. This time I'd like to submit 5 photographs of notice posted at the door and the construction debris in the driveway, along with the stop work order for the electrical permit.
Accept that. Thank you.
As of today's date, it's still, the stop work order is still outstanding for electrical permit. I'm seeking a ruling.
Any questions for the code officer? Go ahead, Bill.
Were there additional permits that were,
There were 5 permits total that need to be pulled. 4 of them were pulled. The one that's left open is the electrical permit.
you've had any contact with the?
I have not had contact with.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you. The respondent here? State your name and address for the record first, please.
Good evening, my name is Matthew Fields. I'm here on behalf of 827 East River Drive.
The floor is yours.
So everything the code enforcement officer stated was correct. We are currently in the process of fixing everything. It was my impression that and I'm not sure why, but I didn't think we need an electrical permit, but it's something we will gladly get in no time. We got the building permit, the plumbing permit, as well as a fireplace permit. There was like an old cast iron coal heating stove in the back. So we're currently working on all of that. We've been actively working on it for quite some time. We intend to have it wrapped up in the next 30 days would be what we're aiming for. So if the board would grant us 30 days, maybe 45, I don't know if that's an option, but we're definitely working on this diligently.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for the respondent? Thank you, sir. Seeing no other questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll try that one.
Thank you.
In case number 216311, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace code existed on the property located at 827 East River Drive with the applicable codes violation section 8 subsection 28 subsection 8 1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Jose Silva and other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation, all of which received and entered as part of this hearing. I further move that the said violation be corrected on or before April 13th, 2021. 22. April 13th, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with the order on or before the date, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past that date for compliance upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation and any previous violation committed by the violator. I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, motion carries. So you've got to the 13th to get the electrical permit. If something comes up that prevents you from doing that, you'll need to show up here again on the 13th and let us know.
Understood, thank you.
Thank you. Next case? I believe it's 216886.
Case number 216886, City versus Rycal Construction LLC for the property located at 823 East River Drive. Case is before the board based on the alleged violation of Section 828A1 permits application required. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Jose Silva. City has evidence of the notice of violation and notice of hearing are both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Jose Silva, Code Compliance. I figure I should be identifying myself as part of the building department tonight. This case originated December 15, 2021 from the Community Development Stop Work Order List, requesting a notice violation to be completed for the 5 open stop work orders at the residence.
Sorry, how many did you say?
5.
5, that's what I thought.
Completed notice of violation with a compliance dated December 27, 2021. Home was not occupied, so I posted the notice on the front door, as well as City Hall also mailed copies, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the registered owner. On January 24, 2022, I noted no change, so I set it for the March MCEB hearing. At this time, the property has come into compliance. All the stop work orders have been cleared with permits. I'd like to submit a photographic evidence of the stop work order, of the correction of the notice posted at the front door, along with an affidavit of compliance.
Thank you, we'll accept those. Any questions for the code officer? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is the respondent here?
No.
Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll do this one.
Thank you.
In case number 216886, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the Temple Terrace City Code did exist on the property located at 823 East River Drive with the applicable code section 8 subsection 28A1. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the Code Enforcement Officer, Jose Silva, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation, all which is received and entered as part of this record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violation were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, motion carries. Next case
Okay.
should be 220467.
Yes.
And I believe we can release the building.
She is leaving.
Okay. Thank you.
Case number 220467, City versus Sway 2014-1 Bar LLC for the property located at 207 Woodbine Avenue. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of Section 810213B, exterior walls maintained in good repair, and Section 810213C, roofs maintained in good repair. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Doug Allen. City has evidence of the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by me on January 26, 2022 for 2 violations. The first was growth in the rain gutter and the second was for stained exterior walls. I went directly to a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of February the 10th, 2022. The notice was emailed to 2 property managers of record, and I posted the notice at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed both certified and regular mail to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on February 24th, 2022 showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared, and the case was scheduled for the March Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by myself on January 26. Exhibit number 1 will show the staining of the exterior wall.
We'll take that, thank you.
The site is in partial compliance as the violation for the gutters has been cleared up, but the wall staining is not, and I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance for that portion.
Okay, so that's 8-10213C is in
Correct.
compliance.
Compliance, okay.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
And the property manager for the site is here available.
Thank you. Did you want to say something? State your name and address for the record, and the floor is yours.
Good evening, I'm Valerie Manning, representing Sway 2014-1 Borrower LLC for 207 Woodbine Avenue. We have a technician scheduled to go to the home tomorrow and pressure clean the staining and painting scheduled for Friday. So I'd just like to ask for an extension without fines or a lien being imposed to allow us to complete the work.
Thank you. Any questions for the respondent? Thank you. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
It's right there.
You wanna do it?
Yeah, do it. That's the
You're
partial,
on a roll tonight, Lou.
half and half.
Okay.
Trying to make it easier and fast on us.
Thank you.
It seems a lot of permit thing going on.
Read the motion.
Okay. I make a motion in case number 220467. I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 207 Woodbine Avenue with applicable to codes violation 8-102 subsection 13 subsection B and section 8-102 subsection 13 subsection C. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement, Doug Allen, along with any other witnesses, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed for the violation of this section code 8-102 subsection 13 subsection C, because the violation were brought into compliance prior to the date this hearing. I further move that the remaining violation be corrected on or before April 13, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order or before that day, they are ordered to pay for a fine for each and every day the violations continue past the date for the compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violation committed by the violator, I move the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. So you've got to the 13th to clear up the one violation. And if there's extenuating circumstances that you couldn't get it done, you need to come back and let us know why. Thank you. Next case?
We are going to skip down to unfinished business.
The one,
Start with case number
1856.
1856, City versus Alma Aponte for the property located at 101 Deer Park Avenue. The extended deadline for compliance is tonight at midnight, and the respondent is here.
Okay. Would the respondent like to say something?
Hello, everybody again.
You know the drill.
Yeah, so, last time we talked, I needed
Hold on, you don't know the drill.
My name is Adrian Aponte, violation house address is 101 Deer Park Avenue. Sorry about that. I brought this is the civil remedy notice of the insurance violation. They were filing it the last time I came here. They're actually filing it against the insurance company, and this is the actual filing right there. Yeah, yes, that is a copy for y'all to have as well on file. So, by the information that was given to me, now the insurance company has 60 days to respond to this civil matter. If not, that will be the court date that will be set.
What's the date of that?
That was filed at I think it was called February 13th. That was filed over the second time that we filed the claim, which the second time that it was filed was August 30th of last year,
They have, what,
2020.
30 days to respond to that? Is that right?
30 days from the February 12th date.
Okay, so it's coming up.
Yeah, yeah. And if they don't come to some type of terms or agreement, then that's when we take it to court, pretty much.
I thought you said 60 days.
30 to 60. I'm not sure. He didn't. I have the emails
You know
from
it,
him.
Ernie?
No, not off.
But that shows that we filed against the amount of time they took to respond to the claims, the unlawful right of denying the claim, and some other stuff as well.
Notice, say how long they had?
Yeah, it's up there. I just handed it off before.
I have another copy if you guys
No,
want.
no, it's okay.
So they're denying his claim, right?
They denied the claim. They took too long to deny the claim, it says on there as well. And for the fact that they're denying the claim for uneligible reasons, I guess, saying that I don't have a reason to
Doesn't say
file the claim.
response time?
It does not say
Okay.
it in here. I gotta look at the Florida statute.
Oh, look at that. Got a computer in the pocket.
That's pretty much all I got for today, guys. Sorry.
Thought you had all that memorized, Ernie.
That's a lot of statues.
And he was
Been archived.
right?
So you're here tonight to ask for another extension?
Pretty much until I get. I can actually. Let me see if I can get him.
And I-
Sure.
What are you gonna do if they don't approve you for this?
Well, that was that's the whole situation. So I have it with the roofing company that if they don't within the next 3 months, that they're just gonna put me on a payment plan.
Okay, you need to face the mic.
So pretty much, if they don't answer in the next 90 days, like
Oh.
if we don't get this settled, then
Is your mic on?
It's on now.
It's on now, okay, yeah, all right.
so if they don't answer within the next 90 days, me and the roofing company have kind of agreed to just put me on a payment plan. They'll get the roofing done, and they'll just continue to fight with them. Once they get it settled with them, they'll reimburse me
So
whatever.
one way or another, in 90 days, you're gonna start.
Yeah, it has to happen. I have other remodels that I want to do on the house, and I don't want to keep holding on to the money because I'm young and stupid. So I'm trying to get it done. I know coming here, I got a lot of permits and stuff that I need to apply to, engineering and architectural stuff as well. We're
All
trying
right,
to
so
convert the garage.
Ernie just checked, the statute says they have 60 days to reply to this,
Okay.
so you're not gonna know anything for 59 days at least. Which
Well,
puts us-
they did file it in
Which puts us till,
February.
would have been, if 30 days would have been March 12th, so April 12th, so the 13th would have been, is our next meeting.
Okay.
So, guess we'll be seeing you again. As long as, do you have any objections to that?
But what I'll do is also, I know you guys said if as long as I get the communication through an email, I'll communicate with my roofing company so he can send me something that says that if it doesn't happen in 90 days, or just put me on a payment
All
plan.
right, so the respondent is asking for another 30 days. We just need a motion to, you have a question? Okay.
As I understand, you cannot fix it and get reimbursed.
Well, that's the whole situation with that as well. If I do go on to fix this roof on my own, then the insurance company no longer technically is liable to pay that back. That's why we waited until the civil matter to be filed, because it's getting to the point where, like I told you guys before, there was a house down the street that the complete roof, truss and everything capsized. I don't want to wait till that moment, and that's why we filed that to say that they're unlawfully trying to fix or unlawfully
But
denying
if you're
my
in the middle of
claim.
litigation, you can go ahead and mitigate the problem. Okay. So you understand, Rod? So
Yeah, that's what.
he filed the paperwork. Once it gets into the litigation stage, he can go back and mitigate the problem and fix it. But until he did that, he couldn't.
I had to give the insurance company an ample amount of time to either deny or accept my claim before I touched the roof.
I wanted to ask Tom, you're okay with that? And the other thing, is there any safety issues?
No, there's no safety issues.
No, we had-
I can see from the street.
Yeah, we had an insurance adjuster come
Satisfied
out.
that he supplied the board with evidence, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, we did have the roofing, like, the insurance adjuster came out and he inspected the roof, and so did our roofing company, sent an adjuster out to inspect the roof, and they said that it was all right. The only issue is now that it's starting to belly. That's why they're suggesting, it's a $24,000 bid. That's probably why the insurance company's not trying to pay, because they're suggesting to switch out certain truss throughout the house as well, the main structural columns.
Okay. So he's looking for,
Real quick, if I can just mention something related to what you said. Let's say, if this were to unfortunately go to litigation, they may not, a lot of times they'll send out saying you gotta preserve the evidence, which would mean preserve
shingles in the rotted.
yeah, well, or what the roof looks like. Hopefully they can take pictures and be able to preserve the evidence at that point. But I just wanted to let you know that, nothing is as clean cut as saying, as soon as, you start a law action, you can do something.
So they could
They
literally-
may say, hey, you gotta preserve the evidence.
Wait, so they could literally tell me I can't change my roof just to preserve?
Well, you have to preserve the
Gotta
evidence.
figure out a way of,
Okay.
In other words,
my guess would be-
bag samples of the bad shingles, bag samples of the rotted truss, take a lot of
I
pictures.
just, I want this done as bad as you guys, I swear, man. My house
So
is
anyways,
so
the
tacky
bottom
with
line
tiles
is,
on it.
he's,
didn't want you guys to be
understood,
all of a sudden, hey, where did this come from?
appreciate it. So bottom line is he's looking for another 30 days. And we need a motion to do that, if you so choose.
Okay.
Thank you.
In case number 21-1856, for violation 8-10213C at 101 Deer Park Avenue, I move that we extend the deadline for compliance until April 13th, 2022.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? You got 30 days. Likely we'll see you again. Yeah. All right, where are we moving to?
That's another.
Moving down to,
Staying on unfinished?
yes,
Okay.
case number 216306.
630, okay, got it.
City versus Nihad Darwish for the property located at 6319 East 113th Avenue. The expiration of compliance is tonight at midnight, and we have the respondent here.
Okay. Would the respondent like to address the board?
Yes.
Thought she had to go first.
No. State your name and address for the record, please.
Khan, 6319 East 113th Ave, Tampa, Florida, 33617. We were here last month and we asked for extension, and the architect, we already started doing the permitting part, but they said we need a drawing. So when we were here last time, the architect said he'd be around March 15th to March 25th. So we already knew we were coming for an extension, and you guys said to come here and face the board.
Have you spoken to him recently?
I spoke to him this morning.
And?
He had COVID in between, so he's like, I'm backed up. So I told him I think the next hearing's like in the middle of April. So I'm like, I need.
April 13th, yeah.
Yeah, well, now I know the exact date, so I'll call him tonight when I get off and tell him. So after we have that, I mean, we have everything else turned in. We have the plumbers hired and all that stuff to pull the permit. We just need him to give us the drawings.
Tom, if you probably don't know, but I'm gonna ask anyway, what's our turnaround time in permitting right now? Do we know?
I don't have that answer.
Okay. I didn't think you would. Okay,
I mean, we were working with Amir, but we know the situation with that.
I asked. Okay, so you're looking for another extension?
Yes, please.
Okay.
One question.
Yeah.
Did he start the drawings?
Yeah, he's already walked and did the preliminary and all that stuff. He already has the layout of the house. He did the sketch, but like to do it where the official one is, where we turning like that, I think it's on 11/13th or something. Yeah, the CADs, he hasn't got to yet. So, I mean, he's working for some big builders right now. Actually, he's in the middle of drawing my personal house, so that's why these little things he's not really touching, I mean, unfortunately. And he's already been paid. Big mistake there.
You think in 30 days?
Question for Director Baroni. Do you have any issues with an extension for this?
All right, so he's asking for an extension. If you guys so choose, we need a motion to approve that. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go ahead. In case number 216306, located at 6319 East 113 Avenue, I move to extend the compliance deadline until April 13, 2022.
We have a motion, we have a second.
I second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. So you got until April 13th. You know the drill. If something comes up, push them as much as you can, because
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm gonna, no, we need to wrap this up.
can't keep doing extensions.
We have the kids in the summer and all that coming up.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So you know. Okay, good luck. Next case?
Okay,
2.
Hearings. Finish up.
One left.
So, 6847,
Yes. 216847, City versus Craig Brunstein for the property located at 418 Ferncliff Avenue. The case is before the board based on alleged violation of section 810214A, fences maintained in good repair. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Jose Silva. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Good evening again, board members. Jose Silva, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated December 13, 2021. My inspection at the time noted the privacy fence around the residence to be in disrepair. This time I completed notice of violation with compliance dated January 13, 2022. Posted notice at the home as well as City Hall. Also mailed copies both certified and regular mail to the address of the registered owner. An inspection on January 25, 2022 noted no change. This time I'd like to submit photographic evidence. 4 photos of the notice posted at the front door and the fence in disrepair around the residence.
got that, thank you.
As of today's date, the property is still out of compliance, asking for a finding.
Thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
The respondent is not here.
Thank you. Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Right. I'm good.
To do it? Okay.
In case number 216847, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violation of the City Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 418 Ferncliff Drive with the applicable violations at Section 8, subsection 102, subsection 14A. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Jose Silva, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of all which received and entered as part of this record of this hearing. I further move that said violation be corrected on or before April 13, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before the date, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continue past date set for compliance upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violation committed by the violator. I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, no nays, motion carries. Next case, please. I think it's 0203.
Yes. Case number 220203, City versus Ron Mogerman, TT Holdings, LLC, for the property located at 12909 North 56th Street. Cases before the board based on alleged violation of Section 12413, permit infrastructure parking. The case will be prosecuted this evening by Code Compliance Officer Lori Smith. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Lori Smith, Code Compliance. This case originated proactively January the 12th, 2022. My inspection revealed work without permit for the repair and blacktop of the parking lot. At that time, I left a door hanger with the compliance date of the 24th of January 2022. My inspection on January 27th, 2022 revealed no change. Therefore, a notice of violation was prepared with the compliance date of the 8th of February 2022. Affidavit of service was obtained by hand delivery to store associate Jerry Williams. My inspection on February 25th, 2022 revealed no change. At this time, I would like to submit photographic evidence of the violation taken by me on January the 11th, 2022. Exhibit number 1 would be showing the paving contractor's truck equipment on site. Exhibit number 2 shows the contractor performing parking lot repair. Exhibit number 3 shows a stop work order in Central Square.
Thank you. We'll accept those. So did they Has they completed the work? Have they done the work? Is it still sitting there?
Yes, sir. As of today's date, the site is not in compliance, and I am seeking a ruling. The permit has not been pulled yet.
Okay, but they haven't done any more work either, right?
No, sir, they haven't.
But since we don't get a whole lot of this parking, infrastructure parking, it's a commercial project with it's the parking, it's the paving for the parking lot.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Any other questions for the code officer?
Just resurfacing?
Resurfacing, yes, sir, and restriping, re-blacktop, reseal, and restripe the parking lot, which does require a permit.
Because it's commercial.
No, sir, not so much as it's commercial, that, you know, it's because of the lines. They want to make sure community development wants to have that site plan, where the parking lot lines were, where the handicap spaces were, where the directional flow traffic, all those lines, they want to make sure that what they had, they've complied with that and they have not altered that at all.
And it's a licensed contractor that was on the site?
Yes, sir, it was.
They were aware that they needed a permit?
I don't know if they were aware of it before until I got there, but they were informed when I showed up on scene.
Pretty shortly thereafter they were aware.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
But the work has stopped and it looks like this picture still. Okay. Any other questions for the code officer? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. Thank you.
$100.
In case number 220203, I move the city has proven by greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 12909 North 56th Street. Applicable code section 12, subsection 413. This motion is based on a sworn testimony this board has received from a code board officer, along with any evidence, including photos, affidavit, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing, and further move that said violation be corrected on or before April 13, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine of each and every day the violation continue past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any action taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violation committed by the violation, and move the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second? Second. Motion and a second, any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? I didn't hear a whole lot of ayes. Let me do that again. All those in favor?
I wanted
Thank you.
discussion, you know, I wanted to impose $50.
Oh, well, you missed that vote.
Yeah, well, yeah, I tried.
I asked if there's any further discussion. Okay.
But I'm good with 25, you know.
Okay.
But this is because my rationale for that, this is a contractor, licensed contractor. He ought to know that he needed the permit before he starts any work. That's my opinion. You know, I don't want any licensed contractor to just go around and do work in the city without, you know, thinking that we don't require permit.
You've now warned them on the record.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, next case, please.
We now
Should be 0580, right?
case number 22580, City versus Progress Tampa 1 LLC for the property located at 7815 Capwood Avenue. Case is before the board based on alleged violation of section 12861E6 fences appearance. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Doug Allen. The city has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case was originated by a citizen complaint on February 2nd, 2022 for a non-continuous wooden privacy fence. I went directly to a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of February 17th. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both regular and certified mail, to the owner of record. My reinspection on February 24th showed no change, so I prepared a notice of hearing and scheduled the case for the March Municipal Code Board meeting. This time, I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on February 2nd and February 24th, 2022.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the posting of the notice of violation, and exhibit number 2 shows the gap in the privacy fence. What's happened here is sections of the fencing were removed, I guess with the plans to replace them, and new sections were purchased and are stacked in the backyard and have been back there for about 4 or 5 months, but
Haven't been
never
replaced.
put up.
Okay. Any communication with the,
I haven't heard from anybody.
any other questions for the code officer?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, I know it's irrelevant, but I'm just curious what the citizen complaint was based on. Animals coming into their.
Yeah, they basically felt that, people were coming in, animals and people may be coming into their backyards. An elderly couple, and I think the wife was concerned that her husband felt he was hearing things at night and didn't know if there was something there or not.
All right, thanks.
The
The site's not in compliance, and I'm seeking a ruling.
the site is occupied.
Oh, yeah, it's a
And
rental property.
are they gonna require a permit to put the sections in?
No, because it looks like it's only about 3 sections, 2 to 3 sections, so any 3 sections or less, you don't need a permit.
Okay,
And the sections are laying there in the backyard, it's just a matter of putting them up.
putting them up, okay.
Okay. If there's no further questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'm up.
Okay.
Okay, in case number 22-0580, I move that the city has proven by a greater weight of the evidence the following violation of the City of Temple Terrace City Code exists on the property located at 7815 Capwood Avenue, code violation section 12-861E6. This motion is based upon the sworn testimony this board has received from Code Enforcement Officer Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavits, and notice of violation, all of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that said violations be corrected on or before April 13th, 2022. If the respondent does not comply with this order on or before that day, they are ordered to pay a fine for each and every day the violation continues past the date set for compliance. Upon considering the following factors: the gravity of the violation, any actions taken by the violator to correct the violation, and any previous violations committed by the violator, I move that the fine be $25 per day.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next case, please.
Okay, last case for hearings, case number 22747, City versus Lawrence, Andre Zil, for the property located at 9622 Overlook Drive. Cases before the board based on alleged violation of Section 810213K, hardware screens maintained in good repair, 810218A, sanitation shared area, and Section 8166IJ, minimum standards accessory structure. Case will be prosecuted this evening by Officer Doug Allen. City has evidence that the notice of violation and notice of hearing were both properly served.
Thank you.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman and board members. Doug Allen, Code Compliance Officer. This case originated by me on February 11th, 2022, of plywood covering the rear porch screens and a cluttered rear yard area and debris on an accessory structure. I went directly to a notice of violation on that date with a reinspection date of February 18th, 2022. I posted the notice at the site as well as at City Hall for the 10-day requirement, and copies were mailed, both certified and regular mail, to the address of the owner of record. My reinspection on February 24th showed no change, so a notice of hearing was prepared on that date, and the case was scheduled for the March Municipal Code Board meeting. I'd like to submit photographic evidence taken by me on February 11th and February 24th, 2022.
We'll accept that, thank you.
Exhibit number 1 shows the notice of violation posting. Exhibit number 2 shows the plywood covered screens. The site is in compliance, and I'd like to submit an affidavit of compliance, and I'm seeking a finding.
No small task. Thank you. Any questions for the code officer?
So all 4 violations has been in
Yep, yeah, he removed the plywood, cleaned the debris off his shed, and cleaned up his backyard.
3.
Yes, 3. Miscounted.
Wasn't surprised.
You were testing us, I know.
I'd like to end this one.
You would like to end this one? Okay. No other questions for the code officer? Thank you, sir. I'll entertain a motion.
Yes. In case number 220747, I move that the city has proven by the greater weight of evidence the following violations of the City of Temple Terrace City code did exist on the property located at 9622 Overlook Drive, with the applicable three codes, section 8-102, subsection 13, subsection K, section 8102, subsection 18A.
Well, back up. It's 8-166 or 12-102-18A.
Which one?
You said 102-166. So
102.8.
18A.
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 But you,
And
why don't you start over?
okay. With the three violations, section 102.13K, section 102.18A, and section 8-166IJ. This motion is based on the sworn testimony this board has received from the code enforcement officer, Doug Allen, along with any other evidence, including photos, affidavit, and the notice of violation of which is received and entered as part of the record of this hearing. I further move that there be no fine imposed because the violations were brought into compliance prior to the date of this hearing.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Motion is second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays. Motion carries. That should finish our new business, right? All right. Take a deep breath.
Case number 210786, City versus James L. Evans and Joyce A.G. Evans for the property located at 11305 East Queensway Drive. An affidavit of non-compliance was submitted by Officer Smith for Section 810213B and 810213C dated February 10th, 2022.
So 13A is in compliance?
And the third violation, 810213A, foundation structure. No, all three.
All three are still not in compliance? Okay. Thank you.
And then case number 211592, City versus Peter B. and Genevieve M. Holst for the property located at 5215 Lawnwood Drive. An affidavit of non-compliance was submitted by Officer Allen for Section 12861E6 dated February 10th. And
Non-compliant.
then case number 214253, City versus Derek Stewart for the property located at 616 Courtney Drive. An affidavit of compliance was submitted for sections 81022, 81021, and 2291 dated February 22nd.
Wow, that's nice.
Case number 215710, City versus 12260 Group LLC for the property located at 12260 Morris Bridge Road. Officer Smith has an update.
Evening again, Mr. Chairman, board members. Mr. Chairman, either I can read this to you, sir, or I can submit it as evidence, whatever you prefer.
Both.
Okay. Yes, sir, then I'll start. Says, good evening, Lori. Following our discussion a few days ago, I am requesting a 30-day extension in order to get the fencing replacement project completed. Over the past few weeks, I have contacted a number of local general contractors and finally, earlier in the week, received the bids back from 3 of the contractors. We should be making a decision and selecting a contractor to start the job very soon. I am requesting this extension as I am thinking that the process is to obtain the permit and to start and complete the job will most likely take the most of 30 days requested. Mr. Chairman, remember, excuse me?
When did you receive that?
I received this on Thursday, March 3rd, sir.
And this commercial buffer, that's, I guess, more than just a wood fence. It's got probably a concrete block or?
No, sir, it's not.
Okay.
It is all a wood fencing surrounding. It's a lot of wood fencing, but remember when the case was presented, the gentleman was asking, Mr. Chairman, if at all possible, 30 to 45 days. extension. We granted the 30 extension. They just need a little bit more time to bring it into compliance.
You're okay with that?
Yes, sir.
Refresh my memory, where was this particular project?
The project is 12260 Morris Bridge Road.
What is it?
It's a Fairfield Inn and Suites, sir.
Okay, now I got it.
Hotel.
Thank you. Okay, so, we need a motion if you guys so choose to give them another extension.
We'll give them.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, may I submit the email?
absolutely, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I think Rod's gonna do it.
In case number 215710, City versus 12260 Group LLC, with the violation of Section 8-166-5A Minimum Standards Commercial Buffer / Repair, I move that the city, I move that we extend the deadline till April 13th, 2022.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays, motion carries. He's got 30 days. Thank you.
Case number 216133, City versus Fayez Abu Aish for the property located at 12911 Rainforest Street. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Smith for Section 12861E6 dated February 21st, 2022. And then case number 216402, City versus True Capital Group LLC for the property located at 105 Deer Park Avenue. We received an affidavit of non-compliance on this case for that section. I believe it was the 828
A1.
A1.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Wanted to let you know, on that one, that property is being sold. There is a compliance agreement out there on this property.
Oh, there is, okay. Good job. Is that the first one?
And, yeah, yes, it was. And just for the benefit of the board, what that means is the city's not gonna interfere with the transfer of that property, but they have, I believe it was 90 days, because they gotta get permits on this one, to bring it into compliance after the closing. And if they don't, then they're gonna have taken the property with the lien still accruing on it. However, if they do get it in compliance within that period of time, the fine, the lien was gonna be reduced. I don't remember the amount, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
That's okay. We don't need to know that. Okay, and what compliance means is written out in the compliance agreement, right?
Yeah, they gotta get the permits. This is a pretty.
Okay.
Oh, and I will say though, additionally, although there's active case on this, there was some issues in the backyard, including an unmaintained pool, and they were also advised that's gotta be done within 10 days, I think we gave.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Otherwise, otherwise it would be moving forward in the process.
Great. Good job. How'd it feel?
What's that?
How'd it feel to get your first compliance agreement?
Fine. I've done several of them, not here, but.
Okay, great. Next case.
One more. Case number 220054, City versus Ann Cox for the property located at 11317 Lynn Place. An affidavit of compliance was submitted by Officer Smith for Section 12921 dated March 8th, 2022.
Great. Very good, thank you. Any other board action? Once again, thank you all, they're done laughing. I was going to thank you all again for all the compliance you got, so it's wonderful. You guys are working hard. Under new business, we do have tonight, we have the election of the officers. So we need to elect a new chair, or the old chair, whatever your proclivity is. We do need someone to make a nomination, and then we'll vote on the nomination.
I'm ready to go.
Okay?
Right. I nominate David Pogorlich to retain his position as chairman of the board.
Okay, we have a nomination. Do we have a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Okay, next we need to elect a vice chair. Then, Samir, you're willing to sit in that seat some more?
Sure.
Okay, what's your travel schedule like?
Shouldn't be traveling.
Okay, very good. Okay, so I'll continue to nominate Samir for, as vice chair.
Second that.
Okay, motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No nays? Well, you get the job again. Thank you all. Motion to adjourn?
I second that.
No, one of us.
Okay.
I move to adjourn.
Okay, motion, so a second. We are adjourned. Thank you, gentlemen.